See ya, nerds. So there are a lot of Mimiron Trash Skip videos on YouTube, and they all have one thing in common. They all suck. They just show one guy doing the skip one time, and they don't actually tell you or teach you anything about it. So I bravely ventured into Ulduar and got my second rogue saved to a lockout that had Mimiron up, just to practice this run and show it to you guys. This doesn't require any respecs, but if you want to be safe, you'll need one consumable. This skip consists of 3 trash packs. Let's get started with number 1. Pack number 1 is pretty simple, but there's no tips or tricks to get you through this. You actually have to sneak past these guys as a rogue. You can go to the left or you can go to the right. I highly advise going to the right, as there's a little bit more room, and you can kind of tell what's going on a little bit easier. You just have to prevent the trash bots from breaking your stealth. If you do fail on pack 1, it's better to just die and run back, as that only takes about 40 seconds than to actually vanish, because your vanish cooldown is going to be 3 minutes. Now moving on to pack number 2. Pack number 2 is going to be the hardest out of all of these by far, and it's where we're going to actually deploy our secret weapon for this. Engineers have 2 options of enchants to put on their belts along with their belt buckles. One is the frag belt, which is kind of crappy. It shares a cooldown with your explosives. It incapacitates mobs and doesn't really deal that much damage, but people put it on their belts anyway just to have it. The second is the personal electromagnetic pulse generator. This does not share a cooldown with your other explosives, and it doesn't do at all what it says in the engineering tab menu. It actually stuns mechanical targets for 3 seconds in an AoE around you, which is what you saw at the start of this video. You can also use the belt enchant to stun the XT trash, the XT ads, and even the ads in the Mimiron fight in P3. So this is awesome. We just stun everything in pack 2 and run through it, right? Well, wrong. The spider tanks are immune to CC, and they will just kill you anyway. However, you are able to stun the trash bots, the bomb bots, and the gnomes. The reason why this is important is because the gnomes see stealth, and it allows you to vanish much closer to the pack without being seen. There's no question that using the belt stun is the way to go. The only options that you really have here for making this easier is how you avoid the damage and attacks from the spider tanks. You can pop evasion and just try and run through them. You can hug the right and hope that you don't get auto-attacked or shot by the left one. However, stunning anything is going to aggro them, and both of them shooting their machine gun at you will easily kill you in under a second. In order to take no damage from this pull, you need a target dummy. It does not have to be a max level target dummy, it just has to generate 1 threat. You can try your luck at not using a target dummy, but you are guaranteed to take at least some damage from one of the machine guns. Since the spider tank's machine gun attack is way less threatening than their melees, I found the best results from just sprinting between the 2 of them, guaranteeing that they're going to shoot their machine gun instead of meleeing you. Taking a melee could result in getting crit in just 1 shot. I also tried to use summonables to tank the spider tanks while I ran through, and it just doesn't work. The spider tanks just target you instead and kill you. I highly recommend using a macro that uses the belt and the target dummy at once. It just has to be /use6, that's your belt slot, and then /use add player target dummy. That way you don't have to place it while you're sprinting through and possibly get the timing wrong. Because the machine gun from the spider tanks is a channel, it's possible that they can get a tick off exactly as you vanish, and your vanish not destroy the in-air projectile, and then it break your vanish after, and you just die anyway. I did a ton of attempts to perfect this method, and only once was I able to sneak through entirely in stealth and not have to vanish, and there was one time where the spider tanks just didn't use their machine gun at all. For some reason they wanted to run at me and melee me, and I was never able to replicate this behavior. Now for pack number 3. Because pack number 3 doesn't have any spider tanks in it, that means everything in this pack is stunnable, and using the belt enchant, you honestly just can't mess it up. You can run in from the right, you can run in through the center, you can distract, you can not distract. I've even been able to do this just not using a sprint at all, just walking into them in stealth, stunning them, and then just walking out. Really the only thing that you need to know or think about is whether you want to vanish at the end, or if you just want to use a sprint or your rocket boots to run to the train and start it and leave all the mobs behind, which I would advise doing. That way you don't have to wait another 3 minutes for your vanish. However, you will need 1 speed increase in order to do that. If you just walk through the pack and stun them, they're going to catch up to you. They run slightly faster than you. And because you can make it to the train and start it to leave the mobs behind, you don't have to wait 3 minutes for that second vanish. All you really have to do between pack 2 and 3 is just wait for your belt to be back up, which is only a 1 minute cooldown. I spent a lot of time in here, and just to prove how brain dead this is, I decided I would do it naked and with my UI hidden. So here's the entire thing in one cut. If you think that was pretty cool or found it helpful, go ahead and help me out and drop a subscription to the channel. I have a ton of plans for really great videos in the future, and I don't want you to miss out. Thanks for watching, and congratulations on your guild and now thinking that you're one of the super good rogues.